Show. I'm Danny Kadota, and it's so nice to be with you all. Hey, Danny is not going to make it apparently today. I did not get a message back from him, so I'm filling in for just a little bit. Just consider me like the warm-up act for Tackle Shop Confessions. Sam De La Torre over there at Island Fishing Tqckle, and yours truly will be live at 6 p.m. tonight, and it will be great to be with you all. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to jump on here. I thought I would go over some of the things that we have coming up and also mention colder ice to you, because colder ice will be at the PCS show. Man, I'll tell you, sprinkle a little bit of this on your ice. The temperature goes down by 20 degrees and your ice lasts so much longer. It is fantastic. And by the way, earlier today, we did an interview with Benji Kim. Benji is a great angler. He's got a YouTube channel. You're going to love this interview. Benji was fantastic. And hopefully that'll drop tomorrow morning early, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., something like that. But Benji Kim right here on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. That is going to be absolutely fantastic. Hey, if you don't mind, hit that like button. Share this video right now. You can share the live video with a friend. We would appreciate it if you did that. And also, tick the little bell. You'll be notified when there's new content. Subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. You have a question or anything, you can put it in our live chat right now. I'd be happy to answer anything that you would like me to answer. February the 23rd. That is a date that you need to mark down on your calendar. That is Sunday. And we're going to be in Surfside, California. It's going to be a blast. It's our surf fishing extravaganza. It's my brother's birthday. The next one will be March 23rd, the Phil Frieman birthday party. But this Sunday, my brother, who's over in Taiwan right now, he lives there, it's his birthday. Tide is just perfect. It's going to be that early morning tide with that sunrise kind of dynamic that always equals some really great fishing. Hopefully, it's going to bite. You know, last time it was scratchy, but we managed to catch corbina, yellowfin croaker, halibut, big leopard shark, a zebra perch. In fact, Chris Rank, the guy who started Colder Ice, had that zebra perch. So we had some fun fishing. But moreover, we just had a really great time with a lot of really great people. It was fantastic. Really had a great time. So don't forget, February the 23rd, 6:30 to 9:30 a.m., Surfside, California. You need any info at all on that, all you got to do is send me a text at 657-227-6459. I know Dan Lightfoot, who's sitting right out here. He's our sergeant at arms. He keeps the riffraff out of here while I'm doing this show, like Brian Pfeiffer on the Independence. I'm kidding, Brian. Brian, the captain of the Independence, just came by. The Independence just pulled in here to 22nd Street Landing. They're going to be doing some maintenance. They're going to be here for about a month. So if you've ever wanted to take a look at that rig, man, that is one gorgeous and beautiful rig. I'm telling you right now. And Brian was up here. We had a lot of fun little chats. And we'll be doing a podcast with Brian and some of the other crew on the Independence here shortly. Meaning in the next couple of weeks, we'll be having a lot of those guys on with us. Robert Graber, he is a man who makes the world a better place. He's a fantastic human being, a great friend of the Friedman Adventures family. And man, he's on here. He says, good afternoon, Phil and the Friedman Adventures family. Lots of great content today. Finally caught one live. Woohoo! Where's Danny? Good question. I'm pretty sure Danny's okay, or his wife would have reached out to me, but I didn't hear from him. He may be out of town. Maybe he's out fishing. Maybe he's out doing that right now. So we'll kind of figure that out as we go along. Hey, by the way, in typical Danny Kadota fashion, Michael Limon is fishing right now. If he catches something, we will let you know, and he'll bring it up for sure. So once again, Tackle Shop Confessions coming up right here at 6 p.m. We'll be going over to Island Fishing Tqckle, and that's always a lot of fun. In fact, we've been doing occasional raffles on there. We're not doing a raffle tonight, but we are going to show you the prizes That is, if Chuck Zimmer makes it. Another guy I'm not sure about. Chuck Zimmer, the great president of the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club. He's going to show up. He'll show you the prizes and also talk to you a little bit about a great, 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 fantastic surf fishing tournament they have coming up. So really looking forward to that also. Hey, and also in late April, we have a trip on the Independence. Brian Pfeiffer was just here. He said that body of yellowfin tuna and that bluefin tuna that was 300 miles south of Point Loma. Remember, if you watched any of our Independence videos, you saw us fishing that. Scott Butchert had a fish that was over 200 pounds. There was a lot of fish in that 150-pound class. There's a lot of really nice fish in there. Brian said there's a lot of 60 to 100-pound bluefin tuna down there. And there's a lot of 200-pounders also. Mexican seiners are still just about reaching their quota on fish right now. They've been setting on the big fish, not the smaller fish, but there's a lot there. That yellowfin is just to the south of it. It's tailor-made. Perfect for our 5-day trip in late April. www.independencesportfishing.com. Man, I'm telling you, we would love to have you on that trip. Call Paulina at the Independence office. You can Google their number or go to their website and you'll get the number there. And I would love to see you on board that trip. That's going to be fun. Hey, Furman is here. Furman won in the raffle that Chuck puts on here from time to time. And Furman says, here, glad to see you at the surf fishing event, Furman. It was great to see you, my friend. Looking forward to Danny's Pearls of Fishing Wisdom. Me too, but I don't think Danny's going to show today, Furman. So I'm just going to blah, blah, blah for a few minutes here before I head off for Island Fishing Tqckle. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them and take care of you guys any way I can. That would be definitely my pleasure. I gave a speech the other night. I actually was at a couple of different places, the KC Anglers Club. Those guys are fantastic. Then I was over at the South Bay Anglers Club, and one of the topics that people seem to love the most is talking about all the boats I've been involved in sinking. So on those trips, yes, I'm very capable, very, very proficient at that. I'll give you another one because on, South Bay Anglers, I think I talked about sinking Pete Thomas's skiff. He was an outdoor writer for the Los Angeles Times for many, many years. I'll tell you another one. So we go out, really bad mistake, if you ask me, in retrospect. Was not smart. Took my 2 little sons. We had a Parker, and we went out of King Harbor in Redondo Beach, and we're going lobster hoop netting. And we're going to just do it right off the breakwall in Redondo Beach because it was blowing 20 knots, maybe even a little bit worse than that. So we're out there goofing around, setting. There's some guys on the rocks fishing also. It's kind of dangerous also because it was so windy. And we drop, and before you know it, I have no power. All my power is gone. Why? Because we have wrapped the rope from one of the traps in the prop. And I'm telling you, it's blowing 25 and it's blowing us into the breakwall, and we are super freaking close. Somewhere out there, somebody wants to do a Freedom of Information Act search. There is a 911 call, profanity-laced call from yours truly, because I started to whoa, we're really close. I yelled at my oldest son, Philip, go to the bow, drop the anchor. Go up there and drop the anchor right now. So he dropped the anchor and got it to hold pretty well. We're kind of pulling through the sand there, kind of still drifting. Patrick is on deck with his life jacket on, looking at these guys on the rocks, saying, can you help us? Poor kid. And, we're drifting closer and closer. Meanwhile, I'm on the phone with the harbor master saying, we're fricking, of course I wasn't saying fricking, we are going on the rocks. You've got to get somebody out here. And it was kind of, I don't want to say they were nonchalant about it, but they were a little bit like, yeah, we'll be out there when we get a chance. Not really. They're saying, well, okay, we're dispatching somebody. What was probably 10 minutes seemed like 10 hours because we're inching closer and closer to the rocks. I'm convinced that the boat's going to be a complete loss. I'm more worried about the lives of my two kids at that point and trying to keep everybody calm and trying to, get everybody under control. Anyway, just in the nick of time, they showed up, the harbor patrol out of Redondo Beach, and they threw us a line and dragged us away from the rocks before we ended up crashing the boat and breaking it into several small pieces. So that was another one of those nights. I've had a lot of crazy experiences at sea. In fact, there was a guy here, Cliff Hughes, just a moment ago, and he goes, man, I don't even know how he knew this. He goes, yeah, you ran all the way to the dumping grounds from Redondo catching albacore back in the day. And I remember you ran out of fuel. And I'm like, where'd you? And he goes, oh man, people in Redondo were talking about you. So there's been a lot of crazy stuff. I, by the grace of God, am still walking around here because we've had a lot of close calls. Anyway, Frieman, I don't know how I launched into that, but it was good to see you. And I hope we're going to see you at the next surf fishing event. Same thing, 6:30 to 9:30, February the 23rd. Really looking forward to that. And in just a little bit longer, we're going to be live from Island Fishing Tqckle with Sam De La Torre. I'm sure Sam is going to be talking a lot about the upcoming PCS show. I don't know if he's ready to tell you some of the deals he has, but that wouldn't surprise me. He probably will have some of those deals ready to go for you all. And in addition to that, Chuck Zimmer will be there. We'll be talking about Chuck's Surf Fishing Derby. I believe that's in May. I'm not positive. I think it's in May. And then Chuck will also be talking about the next raffle on the horizon. And of course, every single morning, we've got the morning briefing for you all. By the way, the El Patron fishes Catalina Island on a regular basis. However, right now, she is in for her repower. So they are repowering the boat. That'll be a little bit of a while until she gets back on the run again. We will definitely let you know about that. Ventura Sport Fishing. Don't forget our dear friend, Captain Daniel Hadaway on the Island Spirit. Daniel does such a great job. And if you book up there at Ventura on the Island Spirit, maybe the Californian, they'll tell you up there, definitely the Island Spirit. If you book up there before April the 1st, you can knock 20% off of your fare, off any trip. All you have to do is take your calendar out, figure out when you're going to fish, August, September, June, May, whenever. Book your trip, pay for your trip, and you get 20% off. You can hardly beat that. I'm telling you right now, that is something you're definitely going to want to do. And also, I'll be dropping a video. I'm going to try for tomorrow. I think I can pull that off. I should be able to get it off. I went to Catalina Island yesterday. I'll tell you, we had such a good time. Fish from Worm King Lures, all city baits. He invited me. We went. The guys from Riverborn Backpacks, they were there, father and son. They're a couple of great people, Ian and Wesley. And we went over to Catalina Island. We took the Catalina Express, beautiful sunrise in the morning, flat, calm seas, all the way over to Catalina. And then we got off. By the way, there was a couple of guys on the boat, Jerry and Mark. Hey, if you guys are watching, say hi. But they sat right in front of us on the ferry. And before they actually sat down, I heard them saying, morning briefing, morning briefing. So we got to meet a couple of our fans right away. They sat right in front of us, and they were really a couple of great guys. I can't wait to fish with them again. So we got there, and then we walked down to an area called Pebbly Beach. And the walk was beautiful. It was so nice. Probably a 20-minute walk or so. Gorgeous, just looking out at the ocean and the rock formations and the birds and big old giant leopard sharks swimming in the shallows. I mean, it was absolutely beautiful. And then we got down to where we were going to fish. You go through Lover's Cove, which is designated as a closed area. So don't fish there. You got to go beyond that to Pebbly Beach. And when we got down there to Pebbly Beach, woo, I'm telling you, fish with a really long cast. The hot ticket were worms that we picked up at Big Fish Bait and Tackle, lugworms. Those whitefish and those sheephead were all over the worms, which makes me wonder if we were on a sport boat the next time. Maybe somebody out there might try this. I wonder if you drop worms down, if you wouldn't catch sheephead and whitefish. We certainly put the wood to them there because from the shoreline, fish had limits of whitefish. How do you like that? And limits of sheephead. In fact, he took care of two other limits for a father and son team, Ian and Wesley, and we ended up with 6 sheephead and also 10 whitefish. Really great fishing. Excellent fishing. I mean, from the shore, making a cast out, and that was in 4 hours or so. We didn't really give it all that much time. That was a lot of fun. And so we are looking forward to heading back there again and doing more of the same. The island is beautiful. The ride over on the Catalina Express was really, really cool. Man, I don't like getting dinged for $25 on parking, but that's just the way it goes nowadays, I guess. So once again, that was a lot of fun. And that video, I hope will drop tomorrow. We are really thinking hard about a trip to organize to take you to do that at Catalina Island. If anybody is interested, please let me know by sending me a text at 657-227-6459, and we'll get in touch with you. We were even thinking March 15th. Not positive about that, but we're talking about a weekend day where we jump on the Catalina cruiser. You can go, out of anywhere and just meet us at Catalina at Avalon. But if you want to go with us, we jump on the Catalina Express, ride over to Avalon, and then we all hike down together and fish that zone. Maybe we can provide the bait. Big Fish Bait and Tackle can help us there. They're so great. Surf fishing headquarters for Southern California on the corner of Pacific Coast Highway and Seal Beach Boulevard. Big Fish Bait and Tackle. Anyway, we're thinking about that. Whether we do it March or not, it's not a whole lot of time to get things organized, but I guarantee you, if we went tomorrow, we'd have a really great time. So maybe we don't need that much time to get organized. But that could be really a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to that. That is for sure. Robert Graber says, are those a bunch of old golden sabers in the corner? Yeah, there are some of those there, Robert. Absolutely. Those have been donated for the kids on Cedros Island in Mexico. We continue to funnel more stuff down to Mexico Lindo, to our brothers and sisters south of the border. And of course, Diego Nuno, who's a deckhand on the Royal Star, plays an instrumental part in all of that. He was born on the island of Cedros. He's a deckhand on the Royal Star, as I mentioned, and his heart is in helping people in his country. And we love teaming up with him. In fact, I went out to a little village, I can't remember, the El Zorrito maybe, a little bit south of Ensenada, and we went down there and we handed out clothing. We went to an old people's home, took some medical supplies. We went to a couple of homes, and you could see that they were poor families, and we walked up and handed a $100 bill to the person there so they could buy some groceries and other stuff. So, as always, I deeply appreciate all that you do to help us. We have sent so much down to Mexico. We continue to do it throughout the year, and we're going to continue to push into the future doing more stuff like that. And just to make it clear, guys like Diego Nuno are the driving force behind these efforts, along with each and every one of you. You guys make this happen by your kindness and generosity. I get to play Santa Claus, okay? It's you who are giving the things that are necessary to help people south of the border. In fact, I'm working on shipping a whole bunch of stuff south here very, very soon. Looking forward to doing that, and hopefully we'll be able to accomplish that very, very soon. All right, what else can I tell you? I think it's almost time for me to quit blah, blah, blah with you all. It's always good to be with you. As I said, the Independence is here. Brian Pfeiffer, the captain, was up here, and we were shucking it up and joking and really having a great time. The Independence, we've got 2 trips on there this year. Our 8-day trip in November is sold out with a waiting list right now. But our 5-day trip has room in late April. And the way this sounds this year, man, I'm telling you, that fish. In fact, Brian, I said, is it at 300 miles? Paul Strasser was telling me it's at 300 miles. I was telling Brian. He says, no, it's moved up. It's moved up a little bit. In fact, he said that bluefin is as close as 200 miles. Now, we know that also from our friend on the Pacific Voyager, as he went down there and found some of that fish here recently. So The Voyager was down there trying to find that bluefin tuna. And while they located it, they didn't catch any of it. They still were able to see it down there. And that, as always, is a really, really good sign. We'll keep our eyes on that for you very, very closely. Matthew Martin, Matthew, thank you for being here, my friend. Hey, Phil, great show. With your years of fishing from a private boat, do you have a favorite island to anchor overnight at? Thank you so much. Cat, I would say, might be one. Nicholas, we used to anchor there because we would fish Cherry Bank, and then we would come back in to the area there around San Nicolas Island, anchor up at night, and then just run back out to Cherry Bank. Probably, I like fishing or anchoring up there the west end of San Clemente Island. We've caught a lot of big calico bass. We used to, when we were going a little bit early to fish Tannerbank, Matthew, we would head out to Clemente, and then we'd anchor at the west end and catch calico bass, maybe yellowtail, that kind of stuff up at the west end of San Clemente Island. So it's productive, and it shielded us from the weather, and then we were able to just pop out there and go to Tannerbank. Probably, 2.5 hour run for us from there, so not bad at all. But there you have it. We'll hopefully see you soon, Matthew. Great question. Thank you so much. Noriega says, jig strike information on how it sank. Asking me, I haven't delved into that yet. I don't know if there's a Coast Guard report out or not, but you will spur me on to taking a look into that for you. And I'll see if I can't have an answer for you maybe next week on the Danny Kadota Show, or perhaps before that. We'll see if we can't get that information for you. Appreciate you asking. The jig strike was a sport boat that sank on, was it Cortez Bank or Tanner Bank, Dan? Do you remember?
I don't really remember.
I think it was, well, you probably remember. I think it was Cortez, but I could be wrong. And it sank out there, and there was, we don't have a determination on why she sank. We'll see if we can delve in that a little bit more for you. So we'll see if we can check into that. By the way, the weather forecast is gorgeous, man. It's actually like summertime down here at our home base of 22nd Street Landing here in San Pedro, California. It's beautiful, and it looks like we're going to have a week of that kind of weather. I think it's going to run right into our Sunday surf fishing event. And a week of that kind of solar warming on the coastal areas might get some yellowfin croaker into the picture, might get some spotfin croaker into the picture. We might even see some more corbina starting to show up. We'll see how that all works out. But again, we'll be watching that very closely. Hey, no problem. My pleasure. We will look into the jig strike for you and see if we can't come up with something. Definitely want to do that, my friend. So this warming might be a good thing. Incidentally, here at 22nd Street Landing, there are all kinds of great things going on. First of all, you can give them a call at 310-832-8304. If you want to come down here and see the Independence, I'm not saying you can walk down there and walk on it. They've got way too much going on. But from the distance, you can see it, and it's funny. I mean, it dwarfs every other boat in here. She is beautiful, and you can check her out. But the Monte Carlo was out recently, and they had limits of sculpin. They did great on their last trip. There's also been some good white fishing. And of course, the Native Sun here, they continue to do a couple of things. Number one, they have their halibut/bass tournament going on. That runs Wednesday through Sundays. Here, this gorgeous weather, it's tailor-made for you to have a really great experience. And then Friday and Saturday nights, they're doing the twilight thing where they're fishing, structure bass, where you fish fluorocarbon, like 40-pound is a good idea. Lead head and some fresh dead squid. And baby, when you get bit and you're near structure, you better pull in a hurry or you're going to get sawed off quicker than you ever could imagine. They also catch some nice big sculpin on those twilight trips. It's not going to be wide open bass fishing. You definitely have to work hard, and you should pay attention to the guys who are catching fish, the guys that know what they're doing. Sometimes these areas that they are fishing are really small. The structure is small, and you'll see guys who are making a cast in a certain directions. The guys that really know, the guys that are catching all the fish, because they know exactly where that structure is, and that's where the bass live. If you're casting over here, you're fishing in the sand. There's nothing over there. Maybe a lost halibut, and every once in a while you'll catch a sand bass, but 99% of the time, those fish are on the structure, especially in the wintertime. They're kind of lethargic, so you got to drop a bait right in front of their nose, and then they'll swim out of their hole, bite it, run back in. And that's why you got to pull really, really hard. But positioning yourself on the boat in the right space is really, really important. And you will figure that out by watching the guys that know what they're doing. They're easy to identify. You know who those guys are, man. The guys that are always catching fish. That is a great way for you to catch some more fish. So again, Native Son has been running. Pursuit also has been doing their Catalina Island trips. There's some better halibut fishing going on over there at Catalina Island. The gale force yesterday had 7 halibut, and they had over 20 shortfish that they released. So the action was really, really good. Really excellent action. So again, there's more halibut starting to show up. I'm sure the Pursuit will cash in on that as they work hard every single time they leave the docks here. Pursuit really does a great job. Many of the boats and people right now are, of course, doing their wintertime maintenance. So we wish everybody the best of luck there. And one other note that I will tell you right now, our Desiree Rodriguez rescue video. Paul Strasser, Mark Paisano rescued Desiree over 35 years ago. If you haven't seen that video, you owe it to yourself to check it out. And it is really an emotional video, one that I think you'll really enjoy. If you could share that with a friend, that'd be great. Anyway, we're about, if I had to guess, 3 weeks out from hitting 1 million views on that podcast. And man, I think that deserves a celebration. So who knows? Maybe we'll plan something. Maybe we could have Desiree down here. Definitely want to have Mark and Paul down here and celebrate 1 million views on a podcast that really was incredible, really emotional. The way Paisano and Strasser broke down in that video, pure, raw emotions. It was very, very touching. I know guys like Danny Illustri. Danny was on board the first string when Mark Paisano handed little Desiree up. He was the one who took Desiree from Mark's hands. It was a beautiful moment. That is a podcast you should all listen to, and we're about 3 weeks away from 1 million views on that. All right, my friends, we'll be dropping the Catalina Island video here very, very soon. The one where we went over to Catalina, walked around, met a lot of great people, and limited out on sheephead and whitefish. By the way, before you go crazy on me, sheephead, not legal in Southern California while fishing from a boat. Sheephead, perfectly legal in Southern California when you're fishing from the shoreline. So that's just another reason to want to go over there and do that. So try to drop that. And then Benji Kim was here today, surf fisherman, avid angler. Such a great story that he's going to tell. You're going to love to hear his history and background. And then you're going to also love the tackle tips he gives you tomorrow on fishing halibut in the surf, corbina in the surf, fishing lucky crab lures. It's all really good. And that will drop tomorrow. The Catalina Island video also, I think, might drop tomorrow. And one more thing. Man, that awesome podcast we did here with that young man about fishing Indonesia. It is spectacular. Hand lighting, Dorado, and big yellowfin tuna. Man, the stories he told about helping the people and doing his best to help put more artificial reefs in this little place in Indonesia. You are going to love that. All right, my friends, we'll be back at 6 o'clock with Tackle Shop Confessions. As always, I send you my very, very best. Can't thank you enough for joining us. Hit that like button. We'll see you at 6 p.m. with Sam De La Torre on Tackle Shop Confessions. Have a great one, my friends.